Hey everyone, it's Tamara, and thank you so much for joining me. Hey, it's Tamara, thank you for joining me. And hopefully the technology is working this week. If you were on last week, we had a technical glitch, but I'm thinking that today is our lucky day and everything's gonna go just perfectly. So hello and welcome. I'm Tamara Monosoff, and I am delighted that you're here. What I'd love for you to do is to jump into the chat and say hello. Let me know if the audio is okay and all is well. And also let me know where you're from. And I'll go ahead and check that in just a minute. So let me tell you, while you're writing your hellos and joining, let's see. I've got Annette. Hey, Annette, and B, and Barbara, and Jean, welcome. And we'll take just a moment for people to join us. And how this is going to go, I'll tell you what the flow is of our conversation. My intention is to answer your questions. So some of you are already published authors. Some of you are just starting your books or have the idea percolating in your mind, and you're thinking about what are the next steps that you need to take. This is a Q&A about really how to think about your author platform, how to build it and create, when you build a house, you create a really strong foundation, and then you know that that's going to help you down the road, and you're not going to have to get as many repairs, right? So it's really smart to think about these things ahead of time so that as you're writing, you can go ahead and implement these strong tools and resources that you have at your fingertips and build this amazing platform for yourself from which to launch. So my intention with this session, I know some of you I've been working with and known for years, and some of you are new to me. So what I'd like to do is take a few moments, introduce myself, give you a little bit about my background, and then what we're going to do is I'm going to answer some questions that came in through email. Some of you have sent your questions ahead of time, so thank you. And then I would love it for anyone else who has questions, just start typing in your questions. You don't need to wait. Type your questions in as we go, and I am going to answer as many as I can. We're going to be on here for an hour. If we feel like we need to go over a little bit, I am happy to stay here and answer any other questions, but the intention is that we'll get through as many as possible within this hour. Then let me just make sure I haven't forgotten anything. Then I'm going to also invite you to ask me about income boosters. Last week I sent out a video. Some of you have given me awesome feedback. Others of you maybe have not had a chance. If you want to know ways to boost your income as an author, I'm happy to review that here. I'm happy to review some of the tips that I gave last week also on how to make your book interactive and why that's so important. And so I'm happy to revisit that information as well. If you want that information, please type into the chat and say, yes, review income boosters, or review making your book interactive, because then that'll cue me to that's something that you'd like to do. And then I'm going to tell you about my upcoming Author to Income program, which is starting next Tuesday. And then I'm going to also tell you about the awesome bonus that I'm going to give you that you are going to love. I'm super excited about it. And I'm going to give that to you regardless, just for attending today. So that is something I'm looking forward to telling you about. So with that said, let's jump over and let me just make sure, okay, all is working. Thank you, Barbara. That's great. And hi there, B. Okay, perfect. Thank you for letting me know that. All right, so let me jump over, and I'm going to just share some slides with you to introduce myself. We'll go into some of the Q&As, as I mentioned, that other people had already sent in, and then I want to jump back and just answer your questions that you have right now. So let's hopefully see how this all works. I'm doing my screen sharing, and I'm presenting to everyone, and I'm hoping that you can see my slides. It looks like it's working on my end, so I hope that you're seeing that. So let's just dive in. I'm not going to tell you about my whole background, but I do think there are a couple things that I would like to mention. One is that I am a social entrepreneur. I consider myself this because I am absolutely passionate about helping authors, entrepreneurs, and coaches achieve their goals and their dreams. I've been doing this for over a decade. This is my life's work, and I'm totally dedicated to it. So I just want you to know kind of where my mindset is. I also have had an unusual background in publishing because I've had my books traditionally published through a major publisher that is McGraw-Hill. And I also have self-published my books, and I have Kindle books. So I've done it in all different ways, and I have been able to get my books to #1 again and again with these different venues. And so that is what some of the things that I teach is, how did I do that? How do I do that? What's the formula so that you can also achieve this bestseller status? And then finally, I'll just mention is that I have been on hundreds of media outlets over the past decade. I feel enormous gratitude for this opportunity that I've had, but it's not just me. The media needs you, and it's really just being very strategic about how to reach out to them and what to say. And that, again, is also something that I can show you how to do. So let's make sure that my slides are moving down here. There we go. So the last book, The Mom Inventor's Handbook, the second edition came out. I hit #1 bestseller status. And you'll see at the bottom that it hit #1. It actually hit #1 in 6 business categories. This is showing 3. And it was #1 for a 2-week period of time, which is amazing because Amazon recalibrates their algorithms hourly. So you can hit #1 for an hour and then immediately drop down. And so this stayed consistent for 2 weeks, which was pretty awesome. And then the book started trending on Google. And as I mentioned, media is an incredible opportunity for you as an author to build your credibility. And this was at the top on the Today Show with Hoda and Kathy Lee in April when the book came out in 2014. And then down you see CNN, and there's Katie Couric 10 years ago with my little one, who's now a preteen. And on the right is CNBC, which is where I just did 4 segments for them that launched 2 weeks ago. So TV, I just got an email yesterday saying that, I don't want to be on TV. I understand, and TV is only one media outlet. I actually find that getting in print media is more powerful, amazingly. Getting your articles published about the content in your book, or getting featured in a magazine, because those printed those magazines, they stay around for a long time. Think about your doctor's office. Sometimes those will be in those doctor's offices for 6 months. And then think about how long magazines stay in your house before you recycle them. So sometimes print media has even more power to it. So there isn't one right way. I just want to show you how you can do it in all different ways. And my true heart belief is that you can achieve this too. I know you can. It's really just knowing how to do it. And every bit of this, in terms of becoming a bestseller and getting yourself in the media and getting your books, out there in a really powerful way, is strategic. It's not accidental. So I do want to say, though, that when I first launched my books, almost nothing happened because I had no strategy. I had no plan. I had no clue what I was supposed to do to market the books. And when you think if you're with a major publisher, they're going to do all this for you. And whether you're with a major publisher or you are self-publishing, the truth is that you are on your own when it comes to marketing. So it is totally up to you. And I know that sounds like surprising, but it really is true. And so I finally got really focused and serious and thought, okay, what do I need to do here? And that's when I started to come up with different strategies, test them out, see what works, and then really refine them into a formula. Okay, I'm not telling you this to depress you, but I'm telling you this because you need to have a powerful plan in place with key strategies to make sure that your book pops out of the crowd. Amazon is printing 4,500 books a day. Now, that's printed books alone. That is not including Kindle books. So Kindle books, those numbers are not available. But this is, I know, sounds really shocking. And so you have to ask yourself, okay, how am I going to stand out from the crowd? What do I have to do differently in order to make my book really pop and get out there just in an unbelievably powerful way? And like I said, this is totally doable and achievable. So I know that we often focus on the writing part, and then after we're like writing the book or we've written the book, then suddenly it hits us with, wait a minute, okay, I've written the book. Now, how do I create a powerful author platform? How do I make my book interactive? Or why do I need to? How do I become an Amazon bestseller? How do I get into the media spotlight? How do I choose and use the right tools to help create this solid foundation? And then how do I boost my income fast and make money beyond the book? So I know this can feel overwhelming, which is why I've taken all of these different things and pulled them together and organized them in a really simple model. So the author to income strategy covers these core aspects. I talk in depth about how to make your book interactive, because that will create engagement with your readers. We no longer can just have a book that's printed flat either on your screen or flat on a piece of paper. It has to have engagement. It has to have an emotional connection with your reader, and people are digesting information through video. Now, if you missed that, I would cover that in the last week. If you missed that and it's important that you want me to cover that in this presentation, please say yes in the chat. Yes, cover that. And again, the income boosters, if you want me to, I'm happy to do that. So these are all interwoven, and they all need to be addressed, and there's steps that you follow for each one, and this becomes your overall crystal clear plan of action. So the interactivity, creating the powerful author platform that also is interactive using video, and I'll tell you more about that if you want me to. And then how do you generate income? Because if we're not generating income with our books and beyond our books, how can we continue to do what we love to do? We can't. And so it's really important that we figure out ahead of time what our strategies are going to be for creating different revenue flows that are tied with our books. And once you figure these steps out, then you're going to be generating income, and you're going to be able to continue to grow and continue writing and producing classes, whatever it is that you want to create, online classes, live classes, and all different ways to generate income. And all of this is tied to your book, because your book ultimately becomes a marketing tool for you. And of course, if you hit bestseller status, that's going to open up all sorts of doors, including getting into the media, and also opportunities that you may not have even considered. So for example, I got an invitation to teach at a university, which was completely a surprise. And that was an unexpected door of opportunity that opened up. So with that said, I'm going to jump to the 3 questions that came in, and then I'm going to jump off the slides and back on camera and go back to the chat room and see what other questions you may have. So Annette has asked, should the book be in all mediums, printed, Kindle, traditionally published? So it does not have to be in all mediums. You can just test the waters by putting it up on Kindle. And you can also go, if you want a printed book in your hand, which I know I love, you can go to createspace.com and upload your book and put it up on Amazon. And then when people purchase the book, it's print on demand. And so they can order one at a time, and Amazon will print and ship. So traditionally published is a different animal. That is where you go, you have to find an agent, and then you have to do a full-blown book proposal, and then that agent pitches that proposal to a variety of different publishers, and then you see if any of the publishers are interested in your book. Then they will decide whether to give you an advance. And what I didn't know about advances is you get an advance, but then you think, oh great, I got this money, but then you pay it back against sales. So let's say you got a $10,000 advance. You have to sell $10,000 of books before you see any money coming back for that book. So we can talk more about that. I think that even though I do have a relationship with a major publisher that still continues today, I find self-publishing phenomenal, awesome, love it. And because you have the power to create your covers however you want to create it, and you can have the power of putting your words in there. You can have it laid out however you want. I mean, it is so empowering that I just love self-publishing. Plus, you make more money per book with self-publishing. So with that said, I would either, you can do a combination of printing it on Amazon through CreateSpace and doing Kindle through KDP, which is Kindle Direct Publishing. You can do those simultaneously, or you could just test things out with a Kindle book, see how people respond, and then you could also do a printed version after that. So there's not one right way, but I love that question, Annette, because it really brings up all the different variety of ways that you can do things. Okay, question number 2 came from Michelle. What's the first step after your story is written down? So I went back to Michelle and asked her what she was working on. She said she's working on a children's book. Amazon has a awesome children's book. It's a template that you can use, and they have a process for you for children's books specifically. So I shared that with Michelle, and if you're all interested in that, if you're writing a children's book, please let me know and I can share that link with you as well. And essentially the first step is get your story proofread and edited. So you can hire a proofreader on Guru, GURU.com, Elance. There are book editors, and be sure and read their reviews. And that's what I love about hiring people through Guru and through Elance, is because it's all the review. It's like Yelp. All of the reviews are out in the open. You can see how they work, see how people are responding, and that helps you evaluate people and pick the right editor for you. But you definitely want to edit it. And then you want to make sure that you get it formatted appropriately to upload into CreateSpace and into Kindle, if that's indeed what you are wanting to do in terms of self-publishing. Okay, question number 3, and then I'm going to jump back over to you. And so make sure you're putting your questions into the chat box. What do you think of Smashwords.com is from Beverly. So Smashwords, they will take your Word doc and turn it into an ebook, and then they distribute for you. They'll distribute to Kobo, which is Canadian. They said Barnes & Noble, and I think it was Apple also, and I think it's iBooks. So again, you know, if you read the fine print on Smashwords, I mean, I'm not putting it down. It's a great service. The thing that I noted when I was reading about Smashwords, I did not use Smashwords. I use Amazon. I love Amazon. So, but what was notable to me about Smashwords is that they made one sentence in there saying that basically the marketing is still up to you. So really, okay, if the marketing is still up to me, then I think I'm going to just upload it myself to Amazon, and I'm just going to go for it and use all the strategies I know and put them into practice and just test them out. And that would be my plan of action. I'm not telling you not to try Smashwords. You know, certainly if that's something that interests you, then go for it. I just prefer, or have used, Amazon, and have had great results getting my books up to the #1 bestseller status on Amazon. Keep in mind one other thing before I switch back over to the chat is that, interestingly, Amazon is now being called a search engine, one of the biggest search engines in the world after Google. So people are going to Amazon and doing searches looking for the information that either it's fiction, where it's the kind of story that they like they want mystery, or they want to have a romance book, or if it's nonfiction, they want to learn how to hit #1 on Amazon. Whatever it is, people are going there to do searches as if it's a Google search. They're doing it at Amazon. So Amazon is becoming what is now being called, interestingly, a search engine as opposed to just an online retailer. So I thought that was really fascinating. So really, that's the power, as you know. I'm sure that most of you shop at Amazon and can see the power in it as well. So let me jump over and stop sharing my slides with you and jump over to the chat. And okay, great. Hi, John and Stefan. Hi, Jean. Okay, and so if you could go ahead and let me know if you have any questions. I want to go over to the chat box. Great. Good. Okay, Stefan, what is the best way to do interactive and what text lends itself to interaction? Okay, I will be very happy to share those slides with you and because it's really awesome and shows why it's so important to be interactive today in particular, because we are a video culture and people are not digesting information today the way they have in the past. So I'm happy to go over the interactive piece in just a moment. I'm glad you asked. Okay, and Barbara, please cover the interactive video. Okay, I see there's a lot of interest there, and frankly, it is the wave of the future, and I want to show you how I've done it, and it just, I mean, it's just blowing people away, so I want to share that with you because you can use what I share with you today and get started right away. Okay, I will cover that. And Barbara, okay, let me see. Barbara, please talk about the value and cost of interactive book for children under 7. So, you know, kids are digesting information differently too. I'll give you an example of an author who, I have an 11-year-old and a 13-year-old. And my 11-year-old has a Kindle device. And I saw her reading and pushing and watching, and I was listening. I was like, what are you doing? And she was reading what is that guy's name? I've got it written down. Michael Buckley. He has the Nerd series, which is, they're spy books for kids. He has woven some of these techniques, and I'm telling you, this resonates with kids. I mean, it resonates with adults as well, but it resonates with kids too to have the book interactive. So for example, he has a spy novel, and then there was a link there that said, want to learn how to make invisible ink for your spy mission? And then you clicked on it, and it was a video of him in his kitchen with a bowl and all the ingredients and telling the kids that they can make invisible ink too, and then gave the recipe. Okay, awesome. My daughter was all over that. And then anything that was clickable in that book, that was the first thing. I mean, they were like scanning thumbprints, and I mean, she wasn't really scanning, but it was just the fact that the book was interactive and it was creating actions. Okay, with adults, it's different. You're wanting to touch their hearts, and I'll tell you about that. I'll share the slides with you because it's really important. And so we'll jump over there in just a minute. Let me just jump down and see if there are any other questions before. Okay. Okay, good. So I think, okay, Annette, if a book is self-published, what are the odds of traditional publishers picking it up? Actually, that does happen. So if you sell a lot of books and you hit #1, you are in a very powerful position to negotiate a deal with a publisher. So that is a time where you can go to a publisher and say, hey, my book is trending on Google. It's at #1, and I've sold X number of units in this period of time. I'd love to have a conversation with you about the possibility of you taking on this book. Okay, you've got a question. You ask yourself the question, however, why? Is it that you want the name of the publisher to give credibility? You know, that's valid. Okay, that's a valid point. But you also, and the one thing that the publishers do really well is they distribute in the bookstores. So that is something they do well. However, what I've learned is they have to be willing, and this is something you'd have to talk to them about, they have to be willing to pay extra for positioning within the bookstore. So, for example, when my first edition of the Mom Inventor's Handbook came out, it was such a novel idea, and it was, as you know, getting tons of awareness and media. And so they started to buy end caps at the store. You know, when you walk into the bookstore and they've got end caps, and so they started to pay extra for those. But if the publisher's unwilling to pay extra for those, you really get lost in the crowd in the bookstore. So that's something to know about. Now think about Amazon. If you've tagged your book with all those important keywords and you've made it interactive and you've got videos to introduce it, and I'm going to show you that in a minute, so don't worry. But if you are doing these compelling, interesting things and you're using social media to drive this type of traffic, you're in a really powerful position. You're making more money per unit per book. And you've created this powerful work that you have 100% control over. Once you publish it with a publisher, you don't have control of that book. In fact, I know this is going to sound crazy because my kids think it's insane, but when I want hard copies of my book that are published by my publisher, I have to buy them. So I have to buy my own books that I wrote from my publisher, and it's not cheap. So shocking. I mean, my kids are like, really? Why are you paying for your book? That makes no sense. And I agree. With self-publishing, you just say, oh, I want 25 copies in your back end. When you're on CreateSpace, you're in the back end. You just say, oh, 25 copies. And then it's printed and shipped to your house, and you're in total control. So you can take those to live events with you. You can ship them out if you're doing an online class, and you can ship those out to people. So you see the possibilities. You see where I'm leaning. I've been treated very well by my publisher, but you see that there are nuances, and they're really important because they tend to impact your, actually the bottom line, your finances. And I think you have a lot more ability with self-publishing to make more money and power and control over everything, which is really awesome. Okay, with that said, per unit per book, please define. Each book costs money. So if you're printing a book on CreateSpace, for example, which is Amazon's self-publishing arm. So let's say I upload my document to like my book, but I'm thinking of it as a Word doc, and I upload it to CreateSpace, and it prints out a book. Okay, it's going to cost me a couple of dollars to print. Probably, let's say, imagine that my book is going to cost $3 to print, and then I can price it however I want to on Amazon. Okay, so the price per unit per book is how much is that book costing you to print. Now, if I were to purchase a book from my traditional, I might have to pay $8 per book, okay? And then I don't get to keep the rest of the money. Okay, so it's complicated, but you have a lot more power. And so per unit per book is really how much you're paying for your books. I call them a unit because I have a background in product development. I think of my books as products. But so each book is how much it costs you to print per unit, but then you can choose whatever your pricing is on CreateSpace, which is awesome. Okay, and so because of time, I want to jump over and just share with you the interactive piece of this, and then I'll jump over and answer more questions, okay? Because I think we're doing okay on time. So let me share my screen again. Hopefully, if I can. Now, wait a minute, my presentation, hang on. This is, let me just, oopsie. Oh, good, phew, it's still there. Okay, but wait a second. I don't know if I shared my screen with you, so let's go over here. Okay, and I'm about to hit share, so we should be fine. Okay, good. So let me just go down to the interactive part so I can explain what this means. Okay, so let me just, hopefully you are all seeing that and all is well. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the interactive strategy because it directly relates to making money. Okay, and it's something that today it is just essential that you consider because you saw how many books are printed each day. And so in order to make yours different, I want you to be thinking about making it interactive. So just, you're probably well aware of these statistics, but I just have to mention them. And that is that there are over 1 billion users on YouTube. And every day people watch hundreds of millions of hours on YouTube and generate billions of views. It's hard to even imagine it. The number of hours people are watching on YouTube each month is up 50% year after year. So this is not going away. This is how people are digesting information. So what does this have to do with your book? And why should you make it interactive? It has everything to do with your book. Adding video to both your printed and ebooks will engage your readers on a personal level. And this is an awesome opportunity for them to get to know you, because otherwise you're just flat pages on a paper, and it just doesn't. Today you have to engage and step it up and do things differently. So you can add video and audio just to make your content more interesting. And so they're like, wow, I want to know more. And another thing that this allows you to do is it allows you to make your book into a tool, a marketing tool, really, to drive traffic back to your website, freebies, sales pages, whatever you're wanting to drive people back to. And keep in mind, when you're driving them back, you want to have an opt-in. An opt-in is a way to capture their name and email address, because imagine they're looking at your book and you never get to talk to them again. You don't know who they are. And when you have an opt-in, then you have a chance to get to know them, and then you can email them and really continue a conversation over time. I just was talking to someone yesterday about the Author to Income program, and she said, I've been following you for 10 years. You see, so we build a relationship over time. And so that's what I want you to be thinking about, is how can you drive your readers from your book to connect with you personally? And the way you need to do that is drive them from your book to your website. Okay, for example, in my book, The Mom Inventor's Handbook, I included over 50 videos. And the result was unbelievable in terms of engagement and income. Now, look at that phone. I put a phone there because most of us don't go anywhere without our phone. And think about that in terms of people reading your book. Now they'll be able to, they can scan the codes, the QR codes. If you choose to use QR codes, that's just one tactic. You can also just put live links in your text, and you can scan and they can see the videos pop right onto your phone. One thing that's really interesting is I had someone in the media tell me they didn't read any of my text. They went through and scanned all of the videos. They just sat there and scanned one video after the next, and that's how they were engaging, is through the videos. I thought that was really interesting. So this is what I'd like you to think about. This is an opportunity for you to create an emotional connection with your readers. And it really is a perfect combination to have this type of really good interactive content and creating this human connection through the personal stories that are shared in the text, whether it's your stories or other people's stories. And I'll show you what I mean in a minute. But let's say, look at the light bulb in this person's head. Someone says, oh, I really need to learn about blank. Okay, that's your topic, whatever your topic is. So they think, oh, I'm going to go on to Amazon and I'm going to search and see if I can find a book on that topic. Then they start reading your book, but it's just one-dimensional if it's just paper on a page. But if you've got videos where they're able to watch and see you in person and connect with you and hear the stories of other people, then it creates a heart connection. And that heart connection then triggers new thoughts in this person's mind, and they're going to think, oh wow, I feel so, I learned so much. I didn't even know about that. And so I'm going to learn more from this person. And then they want to know what other things you offer, like what classes you may offer or programs or anything that you want to offer beyond the book. So if it's a fiction book, you want to think about creating a fan page, or if it's a kid's book, you want to think about really neat things for kids, like including recipes or videos that will be engage them even further. So just really quick, I want to just tell you what I loved is I jumped onto Amazon to see some of the book reviews. And what was really exciting for me is to see what people were saying about the interactive component of the book. So I love this. Carlton said, very valuable information, loved the included videos. Rajendra said, this book is full of useful resources. It's the first book I've come across that utilizes web technology the right way in a digital version. And then Nelson says, I've read 4 books on the subject, and hers is the best by far. She provides videos and many links to resources that I have been searching for a while. Thanks, Tamara. I'm a new fan. And then at the bottom, it says, I just got my hands on the handbook and cannot put it down. It is filled with so much valuable information. The personal and interactive stories of the entrepreneurs in the handbook make this book so unusual. This is a must read. So you see, it's creating this connection with people that is just amazing. And you can see how they're feeling about having this connection to the book, which otherwise they may not have ever had. So there's all different ways you can make your book interactive, and there's more ways beyond this, but here are just a few. And I'll show you what I mean in just a moment. So again, a book is one-dimensional, but then when you create this interactive side of it, it creates a richer experience for your readers. And everything that you do to make it interactive should all drive people back to your website, where you can capture their name and email so you can create a relationship with them over time. And then again, remember, this helps to engage them and get to know and trust you. So you can do a video introduction telling people what they're going to learn about your book. You can introduce each chapter of the book. You can include others in the book. You can put QR codes in your book. You can link to YouTube videos, either your own or others, and you can actually embed those videos onto your web pages so that you continue to drive people to your website as opposed to driving them to YouTube, where they're going to get distracted by all the cat videos and never come back. So you want to make sure that you're just taking those videos and embedding whatever you want to embed on your own website as opposed to driving them off to YouTube. You can also do an audio of your book, which is very popular, and that's also a great giveaway. That could be one of your irresistible offers, or you can have other offers that you want to do based on who your audience is. So one thing that I did is I created a branded QR code, and this Kaywa, K-A-Y-W-A, is really interesting because they let you use your logo. And the reason why I found this to be really important is because it's building not only your brand, but readers get to know that every time they see your QR code with your logo, that it's going to be a personal message from you. So that's how they get to go, oh, okay, I want to hear what Tamara is going to say about whatever the topic is. And so they get to know that that represents you, and that creates engagement with your readers. Here is another thing you can do is you can introduce each chapter and tell your readers what they're going to learn or what they're going to get out of the chapter. Again, this may not be right for every single book, but you know, it's also a really nice touch. I get tons of feedback about this. Now keep in mind, it doesn't have to be just a QR code. You can just put the link in there, and it's really important. Do you see you see where the URL is, that you put the link there, because not everybody's going to be scanning with smartphones. Some people may want to just, if that's a Kindle book, that'll be a live link, and the reader will just click on that and they'll be able to hear the video. Keep in mind that you see that every single video links back to my pages on my website, and I'm going to show you the back end of that now. So for example, here is one person that I featured, and what I did here is I asked the 50 entrepreneurs to share, I didn't want them to sell whatever their business was, their product was. I wanted them to share a more heartfelt side of their story. I wanted them to share with readers what struggle that they had, or what was the biggest challenge they had to overcome. What was their biggest success? My favorite question is, what has surprised them the most about being in business? Now, keep in mind, you could tweak these questions to fit your audience. Definitely. And then the last thing is, what advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs? And so that they shared a little bit about who they are. So yes, you could read this on the flat page of the book, and some people, that's how they digest information. But because so many people are visual and are digesting through video, this is a great opportunity for you to scan this code or click on this link, and Tiffany comes to life sharing her heartfelt story, and it really has an impact because you connect with the reader on a personal level. Notice that the URL goes to right over to my webpage with her name, So it has, let me see if my cursor, yeah, my cursor's not showing up, but it goes over to, it shows her name, her video alone, and my opt-in page so that they can sign up and opt in. And nothing thrills me more than getting opt-ins from readers. And I can track, if you look below, I can track and see where whose story triggered that person to opt in. Okay, and so you can see, I can see on that link below that's coming in from Tiffany Crummins. So that is something that is a way for you to start to, by driving these video stories back to your website and having an opt-in right there, that's a way you can start building your email list and communicating directly with your readers. Another thing you can do is include other experts. So like Lou Bartone is a video marketing expert, and it supported my content. So only really think about the stories that you choose or invite people to include their stories. It has to support your content. The experts that you choose, it has to support your content. It has to make sense, right? And allow them to offer tips and bonuses. And here is a video that QR code links to his bonus tips on video marketing. But keep in mind, a money booster is that could be an affiliate link. That could be a link that ties to a program that Lou has, that we've agreed upon, that if I promote Lou, that I get a percentage. That is not what this link is, but that's a possibility. So I'm just throwing out another income booster. I don't know if you saw my last income boosters, but that is another way that you could do that if you have found people that you truly believe in and feel good about promoting. I'm always asked legal questions. So I reached out to an attorney, John Merchant. He had never turned on his webcam in his life. And maybe you have experienced that yourself. And you know, we all have to start somewhere. And so John had never turned his on, and I was able to show him how to do it. And then we did these interviews, and because legalese is so, I don't want to say unpleasant, but difficult to understand maybe. I broke it down and only asked John one question at a time. So there's only one question answered per video. John, by the way, has gotten so much business that he now has to turn people away. And he had never done anything like this. So I want this, you know, this may not be the perfect fit for your book and your audience. So think about what this could be. Think about what types of things that you can say to your own audience that would make sense, or what kinds of you know, things that would add value to your audience. So and this is another thing. This is a little bit more advanced, but I use lead pages. And this is another way, another tool that we'll be learning how to use in the Author to Income program. And essentially, if you go back here, if people landed on this page with Tiffany Crummins and they did not like what I was offering as a freebie, which says get my exclusive download for 6 resources to fund your business now, and that just didn't resonate with them, before they leave, after 20 seconds of being on my website, a pop-up will pop up, and it will say, hey, why don't you get the marketing tools? This is a free resource. So I get these every day. People are opting into this every day. I've gotten hundreds of people opting in through this pop-up. So you can learn how to do that as well. And this is a way for you to easily capture people's names and emails, and you may give them something else. Now, if you're a fiction writer, this could be a fan club, right? You could say, hey, join my fan club. And this would be a way to create discussions where you could do once a month, you know, fan conversations about the characters in your book. So you can see the possibilities there's so many possibilities. It's really exciting. So I want to switch back over to the chat really quick. Hopefully I won't mess anything up here. And let me see if I hit out here. And okay, good. And let me see if I can just go over to this side. Okay, stop sharing. Okay, oh, hey, you're there, I hope. Okay, good, I think we're good. Okay, let me see what questions have come up, and we have about 15 more minutes. So Serenity, hey, thanks so much for having this webinar. Would it be possible to email us all of the recording? Yes. You can have the recording. It'll come out, I think it's scheduled to come out in a few hours after it needs time to render, and then it will be sent right to your inbox. So you can review it as much as you want to. So I'm glad you're finding it to be helpful. Okay, any other questions coming in that I missed? Oh, let me see. Who else has joined us in the room? Oh, John, Serenity, oh good, Serenity, I didn't see you before. Okay, great. And anybody else have any questions for me? It can really be about anything around book marketing. I can go ahead, and while you're thinking about that, I would like to take a moment and tell you about the Author to Income program that I am offering, because tomorrow is the deadline. Tomorrow it goes up, tomorrow's Thursday. It goes up at midnight Pacific time. It goes up to its full price. So if you are interested in joining me, we have an awesome group already. I'm like totally fired up about this group. People have been signing up all week, and we are going to knock it out of the park in terms of helping you establish an awesome author platform, getting your book in a totally interactive. I'm going to teach you how to use the tools, and how I'm going to share all the tactics that I've used to get my books to #1 again and again. And I share everything. I know Annette's been with me forever. You know that I share everything that I have. I really make sure that I'm giving you as much as possible. So let me go ahead and just show you what I'm offering so that you can ask me questions about that too. So I'm going to jump right quick over back to, let's see, right here, present to everyone. Okay, so let's just scroll right down here, because I want to tell you about these cool bonuses, because I'm super excited about it too. So first of all, let me just share, I just mentioned it briefly, but what we're going to do here is this is what we're going to cover. The program is 8 weeks. It starts next Tuesday. It's 9 to 10:30 Pacific time in the morning. So we'll do 60 minutes of how-to information. I'm going to give you 60 minutes, and then 30 minutes is Q&A. And then so that will go straight 8 weeks back to back. And then we also have a private Facebook group where you're going to be able to ask questions if you're feeling stuck, or if you want to just jump in and get some feedback. Whatever you need, it's going to be in that private Facebook group. I'm going to be jumping in there every single day, monitoring and making sure that you're getting your questions answered. And then we're going to talk, this is what's covered. We're going to go in, and I'm going to teach you the tools. We're going to make it interactive. It is so much fun. It does not, I hope that this doesn't scare you. It is not scary. Once you know how to do something, once someone shows you how to do something, it's so much easier. And so that's what my intention is to show you exactly how I do all of these things. We're going to also figure out what income boosters, what different revenue streams make sense for your business, for your book. And we're going to make sure that we get that all queued up ahead of time, so that when your book launches or relaunches, if you already have a book and you're thinking, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I've already launched my book. If you're not getting the sales and traction and exposure for your book that is out there already, then that means no worries. If you self-published, you can go back and relaunch. It's fun. It is awesome. It is so empowering to do this. And you'll go in and you'll make these tweaks, and I will help you do this. And then we'll do your plan, step-by-step plan to launch, and get everything queued up and ready to go, so that you have a really awesome second, relaunch. And if you're just launching for the first time, seriously, it is getting all these things queued up ahead of time. Knowing how to do this is going to be so empowering, and you can do it for any books in the future. So here are the bonuses that I am offering as part of signing up today for this class. Bonus number 1 is I'm going to give you 3 months access. I did not show you Club Launch in this presentation. It rocks. I have my media contacts. I have my daily deal site contacts. We didn't talk about daily deal site contacts. Daily deal sites are Groupon, Living Social, Amazon Local. You can sell, if one of your business strategies for your book is to create online courses that teaches your content, that supports the content of the book, you can sell these online classes on Groupon, Living Social, any of these deal type sites. They're looking for online classes all the time. And in fact, I've spoken to them. I spoke to Groupon specifically about this, and they love to sell online classes. So this is something that's another revenue stream for you to consider. And I have access to my contacts in the area. If there's a contact that you want, there is a request, and that you don't see there, there's a request button there that you can use and just request what you're looking for, whether it's a media contact or a daily deal content. I'm also going to give you the author video script template. Sometimes you're like, okay, great, Tamara, I don't know what to say when I get onto the video. I don't know how to introduce my book, right? Well, I've created a template where you can just fill in the blank. And this is a very short, simple template. You're going to have exactly what you need to go on camera and introduce your book. So I wanted to make it really easy for you. These are all things that I wish that I had had. That's why I created them. So how to get started on YouTube video mini-series. You need to be on YouTube. You know you do if you're not. And I broke it down to square one. I mean square one, like how do you set up your account? How do you get started? And I've gotten great reviews from the people who have just purchased that class separately. I also have my home video studio set up, what cameras I'm using, what my secret weapon is, everything I'm using, all my tools. I have people who just love that list. I also have my author income checklist, which is a checklist which you can have that will walk you through all the steps that I use to get my book ready for launch and to get my book ready to hit the bestseller list. So you can have that checklist. And then today, regardless, I'm giving you something I've never given away before, because this is, again, something that I wanted. And I have now created a formatted Kindle ebook template that you can just type in your chapters and upload. You do not have to hire someone on the outside to format the whole thing. It is ready to roll. You just type your chapters in and it's all formatted with the right dimensions. You can upload that to Kindle. Woo! Isn't that exciting? So I'm excited about it. So let me tell you what we've got going here in terms of pricing, and then I'm going to put a button up there for you to sign up today, and then I'm going to open it up for more Q&A. So normally, as of midnight tomorrow night, it will go up to $19.97. That is the regular price for the class. My members area is $564 a year, which is comes to over $2,500, $2,561. So for the author to income formula early bird for signing up before midnight tomorrow, you get the 8-week live course for $997. I have a payment plan to make it really easy. If that's better for you, you can pay it $219 on 5 payments. You'll get all 6 bonus videos and the private Facebook group. Okay, so let me jump over and see if you have any questions. And then also, let me go right here because I can pop this right up on your screen to make it super easy. And you should see that. So you should be able to click and sign up right there while we continue our Q&A. So hopefully you are seeing that right now up on your screen. So let me jump over. Okay, and Annette says, please share this with webinar attendees. Okay, Annette, what are you saying? Tamara is committed to your success. She shares so much because she wants to shorten your learning curve and see you succeed fast. Big hugs. Thanks so much, Annette. That's awesome. And you know what's really cool is I have this new feature. Check this out. I think you're going to be able to see this. Broadcast Kush, you should be able to see that on your screen, I'm hoping. And thanks so much for saying that. Did you see that come across your screen? Anyway, I was trying to share it with everyone, Annette, but hopefully you heard that. Thank you, Annette. Anybody else have questions? Because we still have 7 minutes before our hour's up. I will stay on and answer any other questions you have. Sorry, I'm like jumping around here because I want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. So let's see. Thanks so much for having this webinar, says Serenity. And okay, read that. Anything else, guys? I'm really here for you, and I can answer any questions that you have about the publishing process, about what I've done to get to #1, or different tactics for getting to #1, and how to anything that you want. I'm here for you. So just throw in your questions right here. If not, if you feel like you've gotten everything out of it, I hope that you'll take advantage of the early bird special. I would love to work with you. Starts next Tuesday. We're gonna have a great time, and we're gonna just roll up our sleeves together. I'm gonna make things very simple. We're gonna go through every single step of the way through the process. You're not gonna be alone. You're gonna not only be with me monitoring and watching your progress and helping you, But the power of the group is incredible. So the power of the group is that I really help facilitate this feeling among the group that we can support each other. And I love this because I love nothing more than the sharing of resources and support that goes on within the group setting. Jean, okay, please show pricing option again. Oh, John, okay, you want to see the pricing options again? Sure. So now tell me, is there something on your screen that it looks like it's up on the screen? You'll see my picture. It says Author to Income 8-week program. And then you can say, click here to sign up now. You can click there. But I will jump back over to, I think you're wanting to see my slide is what you're asking me to do. So I will do that right this minute. Okay, so let me see. Oh, I've lost it. I might not be able to show you my slide because Keynote just went off my screen. So let me just tell you, okay? So what, hold on, let me cancel this and get back to you. Okay, so what the offer is, as of midnight tomorrow, it's going to go up to $19.97. And so what it is that now it's $9.97. So you're going to save $1,000 just by getting it today. Okay, that early bird special is, in fact, I have my bonuses. I don't know if I have this printed out here. Maybe that's what you wanted to see. So let me just read off what the bonuses. I don't know if you can see that. So let me just read them off to you again. So what you're going to get for $9.97 is live 8-week course with me, where I am listening to where you are in the process. I am sharing how-to information about every step of the way. Okay, we're going to cover interactivity, building your author platform, different revenue streams that we want to set up for your particular book, for your particular audience. Okay, I'm going to show you how to use tools to help facilitate that. And then I'm going to teach you the tactics that I've used to get #1 again and again, whether it's a Kindle book, whether it's a printed self-published book, or whether you're, believe it or not, I started doing my own tactics to get to #1, even with my traditionally published books. That was interesting. So that's a whole other story, which I'm happy to share. But for right now, I will share all of that in this 8-week live course. Then there's a private Facebook group, which will be visiting throughout. So if you have any questions at all popping up, I'll be right there answering questions, jumping in there and answering questions. Okay, in terms of your bonuses of what you get 3 months access to my membership area for authors. What is in that area is I have shared, gosh, I wish I could show you this thing because it's so awesome. I'm just afraid that if I open up Keynote, I'm going to mess it up. But so what is in there is I share, like, let's say there's a section on magazines. And so let's say you want to get into Oprah magazine. I have the book editor and other editors there that are clickable links. So you can just click and it will take you to their direct email address. Yes, I know it's shocking news, but it's true. And you can contact them about your book. I also provide an email template for you that you can then just type in about your book, and that is an email template to send out to the media. So you don't have to write this thing from scratch, because I know how hard that can be. And it's also hard sometimes when you're talking about your own book. It's like, oh God, what am I going to say? How am I going to make this interesting? And not only that, I'm happy to, if you tweak that email template and put in your information, I'm happy to look at that as well and provide any feedback. You can also share with the group, which is awesome, and get group feedback, which I love even more, because I think collectively, we all have different backgrounds, and that brings so much richness to the group. Okay, the other thing I'm going to give you is the author video script template. That's just a quick little outline to tell you how to talk about your book on video. And I find that just having the outline, and I prompt you with questions so that you can fill it in about your book. And then you just have to practice saying it over and over, turn on your webcam, and just do it. And guess what? I often, when I'm recording, I'll do things 5-6 times, seriously. And when I was first starting, I'd do it 20 times. I think Annette knows that story. When I was launching my last book, I kid you not, I was filming sometimes 20 times. But that was really for the big thing, not using my webcam. That was using another camera. You can use your webcam. Look what we're doing right now. It's so awesome. Just with a little webcam. I'm using a Logitech webcam right now, and it works so well. The other bonus number 3 is how to get started on YouTube, the video mini course. Number 4 is the home video studio setup, which is where I share which tools I'm using, like the Logitech camera, and your author to income checklist, as well as you're going to get regardless today is your formatted Kindle ebook template, which is so awesome because I just created that so that to make things really easy so that people can just write your book and publish it on Kindle. So with that said, I will jump back over and see if you have any questions before we go. And okay, so that was just letting me know that it's been an hour, but I will stay on and answer any other questions. Okay, Jean, please show pricing options. Oh my gosh. Seriously, I hope I answered that just now. Oops, sorry guys, my phones are going crazy. Just if you have any other questions, let's do this. I'm going to type my direct email right here into the chat. And you can follow up with me right now, and I will stand by and answer any other questions you have. How's that? So there's my direct email. Did you get it? And so let me know. Okay, great. And any other last minute questions before we go? Again, I hope that you'll join me. We're going to have an awesome class, and you are going to just love the other people that are in this group already that have signed up this week. I'm super fired up about the whole thing. I want to help you succeed. I want to help you whether you're just getting started. I want to help you if you're already published and you're thinking, scratching your head, why am I not selling anything? How can I retweak this and do it a little bit differently this time so I have success? Or I've even had people say, you know what? My last 2 I haven't done that well with. I'm working on my 3rd, and I want to knock it out of the park this time. And so I'm going to do things differently. And so that was someone who just signed up yesterday. So please join me. I can't wait to get started working with you. And thanks for joining me on the webinar today. You will get the replay. I will go ahead and in that replay, I will add the template that you for the ebook template for you, and then I can also put the link up for the early bird special. So I hope that that will help. So thank you, and I wish you the very best, and I hope to be hearing from you soon. You can email me directly following, and I'll stick around and make sure that I answer your questions. Thanks, everyone. Take care. We'll see you later. Oh, wait. Okay, wait, one more question. B says, will this benefit someone who does not have a book yet? Do you have a book in progress, or do you have to have a book in progress? So this is the deal with that. I have some people in the class who don't have their book yet either. I have some people who are published authors so I have the whole gamut. What I am teaching is, like, as I mentioned at the very beginning, it's creating a solid foundation. It's all the steps that you need to be thinking about so that when you're ready to pull that plug and launch, that you have everything already worked through and ready to go. And also what I teach you may actually help you in writing your book. I'm not teaching you how to write a book in my class. This is not a writer's workshop. But what if what I'm teaching you makes you think, you know what? I think I should interview these people and include those videos in this book. Or, gosh, it didn't even occur to me that maybe I should have, I should talk about this, this, and this. And so what will happen is, as you're learning how to do these things, that you're going to be able to think in a totally different way about your book, so that when you sit down and you start writing your book, you're going to think, wow, you know what? I learned that tactic, and now I'm going to put that link in, or I'm going to put that audio in, or I'm going to put that video in, and create this unbelievable book that is different than what I ever imagined. So what I say is, don't wait, because what you're going to learn is going to really change the whole way in which you write going forward, because it's going to change the whole dynamic of your book. So I hope I answered your question. All right, everyone, take care, and I look forward to talking with you soon. Bye.